Hello students, welcome back to my class. Today I'm going to talk about interrogative sentence part of voice change in the class. Watch this video till the end and learn. Let's dig in now. Okay, three things we shall see today regarding interrogative sentences in voice change. Within present tense, we'll see simple present, present continuous, and present perfect tense. Basically, interrogative sentences are of two types: inverted questions and specific questions. Inverted questions are the questions that are actually introduced by auxiliary verbs, and WH questions are questions that are actually introduced by WH question words like what, when, how, who. Okay, so first of all, we will see inverted questions, and within that, the first thing we will see here is simple present tense. This is the example here. Does he like you? I will give you some ideas, also some tips how to first of all change the sentence into assertive sentence from interrogative, and then change that one into passive form, and then back again to interrogative. That way you will never make mistake. But then we don't have time to change this way in a long process, so straightforward, if we have to change it, it becomes like this. This does will change to, because it will not remain anymore, and our object will become subject, and then the verb comes down in the past participle form, because the auxiliary verb is already used here. And are you liked our preposition, and then subject becomes object, him. So this is how it is in a very straightforward way. Let us see how we can change by changing the sentence first of all into assertive, and then to passive, and then back again to interrogative. Okay, here's the example. Does he like you? Now it is subject, verb, and object. So what we need to do, we bring the subject first of all in the case of assertive sentence, and then does plus like. This is the combination. Okay, does plus like. What is the result of this? It is likes. So we don't use does anymore in assertive sentence, but we use the verb form in its third person form, singular third person form, by using s or es form, and then subject comes. It is he likes you in assertive sentence. Now this is our subject, our verb, and our object. So if you remember the rule, object becomes subject, subject becomes object. So you will remain as you, because it is the second person. We don't have any replacement for that. Now you is always followed by are. This is the new auxiliary verb we introduce, and then our verb form will be in the past participle form, PP form, and we introduce the preposition, and then by him. Our subject becomes object, converting itself from he to him. So this is how it is, active to passive. Now we have converted the sentence from interrogative to assertive first of all, then assertive sentence we convert it to passive. Now we are again going to convert it to interrogative. Now to convert this sentence into interrogative, it is very simple. We take the auxiliary verb out and put it at the beginning of the sentence. So let's do it. Are. Now this comes you, and then liked. What is left? By him. Now instead of full stop, we add question mark. So this is how are you liked by him. This is what we get. So The result of this is this. Just the way you do something in mathematics and try to prove it this way, that way, like that, here we have proved that this sentence is changed like this, as I've shown you earlier. So this is how we do. Now let us do present continuous tense. And here is an example. Are you writing the answer? This is our sentence. Now this is our subject, and together present continuous. This is our verb, and this is our object. As we know, object becomes subject. Now we have to see, just as this plural form, the second person, is qualifying this word are, the answer, which is third person singular. Now as it comes here, the answer, it is singular. It actually qualifies is here when it is assertive, but then we need to bring this out and put it here, as we have just seen before. So is the answer. Now for this ing form, we have to introduce this word being, newly introduced auxiliary verb. So is the answer being. Now our main verb will convert into past participle form by you. Preposition by ends with you. So this is our changed form. Is the answer being written by you? Alright. Let's again see this also, how we can convert this sentence first of all in assertive, and then we will change it again to passive, again back to interrogative passive sentence. Alright. This is the sentence. Are you writing the answer? So what we need to do is we just take in the auxiliary verb after the subject here. So start with you and then bring are writing the answer. This time it ends with full stop. Now let's see if this really works. Change it to passive now. Object, our subject, and our verb. So the answer is. This was are, but then this is singular, that's why we put is, and being written by you. Alright, so now let us convert it back to interrogative sentence. The rule is bring out the auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence. Is the answer being written by you? This is how we prove. Okay, previously when I explained you, we wrote are you writing the answer, and the answer was is the answer being written by you. So this is how we proved it. That's present continuous tense. Here is an example for present perfect tense. Have you sent the letter? Pretty simple. This is our object, this is our subject, and this together is our verb, auxiliary verb and the principal verb. Now what we need to do when we change, we bring it here, the letter. But then since it is an interrogative sentence, perfect tense, singular, we need to introduce has, but without writing here, we need to write it here. Has the letter, and then we introduce been, then our main verb comes down as it is because this is past participle. Has the letter been sent by, subject becomes object, question mark, this is what it is. Okay, so if you change it to assertive, this one, it becomes you have sent the letter. Alright, and when we change the sentence you have sent the letter, it becomes the letter has been sent by you. That's how it is. So only auxiliary verb, instead of sitting after the subject, it sits at the beginning of the sentence, and that makes the sentence interrogative. Okay, so we will not elaborate it again. And for inverted questions, I am going to wind up here. Find out more sentences to practice by yourself. Now let us move on to specific questions. Okay, this is specific questions, and specific questions, as I have earlier mentioned, it starts with WH questions. Okay, so first of all, we will go with simple present tense. So what you can see here, we have an example. What does he do? He is our subject, do is our verb, along with this together, and this is our object. So the subject place and object place is little out of place here. Okay, so for that you might feel a little bit confusing, but it's not a big deal to confuse like that. So pretty simple. I'm going to explain to you what does he do. Now, as our rule says, object becomes subject, it remains here as subject. And then, as we have seen in the earlier part, does plus do, the result is does. Okay, this is what we get. But then after all, this is not going to be like this, because past participle form will come out from this, making it done. And then now it is present tense, so we consider this one as singular. We write is instead of that, because when we change it to assertive sentence, he does something. We don't know what is, so for that, to make the sentence suitable, we write he does something in place of this. He does something, subject, verb, object, like that. He does something. Okay, so we are changing to is because we don't have other auxiliary verbs in the sentence. Does itself becomes principal verb. Okay, so in this case, do is principal verb. What is now? Do will change to done, as I have mentioned here. What is done by subject becomes object. What is done by him? Right? So as I have told you just a moment ago, let's see again by first of all converting this to assertive sentence, and then to passive, and then again to interrogative sentence. Okay, this is it. What does he do? And when we change it to assertive sentence, it becomes he does something, because I have told you already, this is subject, verb, and object. In a line of our sentence, it is always subject, verb, and object. So we get subject here, verb here, and object. So we are just replacing what by something. This is actually what. Okay, so let's keep in mind, because we need it again. Now he does something. When we change it, object becomes subject. Something is singular, so something is done by him. This is what we get. Now when we change it to interrogative, back again, because this something is what, we don't need to bring this auxiliary verb out of the sentence. So what we need to do, we simply write this out, what, and whatever is there, we write like this and with question mark. So what is done by him? What does he do? Changes to what is done by him. Okay, I hope you understood. This is an example for present continuous. What are you doing? So you doing, this is our subject and our verb together, and this is our object. Okay, so like the previous sentence, object becomes subject. What, then it is singular, is. Now for this we need to introduce ing form, what is being, then do will be converted to done by, subject becomes object. what is being done by you. That's how it is, very simple. But then you should be very careful while changing the sentence. Alright, next is present perfect tense, and here you see, when have you done this? Basically, when it is adverb and adjective starting the question, this is interrogative adverb. We can add another word, which is why. You can also write why. Why have you done this? Or when have you done this? This is asking for reason. This is asking for time. Adverb of time, interrogative adverb of time, interrogative adjective of reason. Okay, so that's how it is. Now, whichever way you write, why have you done this, when have you done this, after all, you're going to get the same answer. Only difference is whenever you write when, you will get when. Whenever you write why, you will get why. Okay, so let's see this. You have done, okay, this. So subject, verb and object, because this is an adverb and adjective. Adverbs and adjectives do not become subjects and objects. Probably if you can remember from the other video that I made regarding voice change, I told you that subjects and objects are nouns and pronouns. There are different kinds of nouns, but all kinds of nouns can be subjects and objects. So that's what you need to remember. So let's see, because this is our subject, this is our verb and object. Object becomes subject. But then, because it's starting with these things, let us start it with this again. Nothing to do. Okay, because it has nothing to do with the sentence. We just need to keep it as it is and then go on like that. So now we have here, but then this is going to come here in the place of subject, because this is object. Object becomes subject. So this is singular, and that's why we need to write has. That qualifies singular. Okay, when has this? Now we introduce been and then done by you. Alright, so this is how it is. You can add why here. After all, it is the same thing. So I hope you have understood, and these are the few examples that I have shown you. And you take any kind of sentence, follow the rules, you will be able to do it. But first, you must understand the rules. Okay, so this much I think for today. I'm going to wind up this video. Thank you for watching.